Hello and welcome to ThePrint. Today I shall speak about the follow-up to Op Sindhur. The Sindhudurg fort, located on an islet in the Arabian Sea near Maharashtra's Malwan town, is one of the most significant sea forts. It was built between 1664 and 1667 by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the founder of the Maratha Empire, for the purpose of strategic maritime defense and protection against foreign naval threats. This fort was central to Shivaji's plan to build a strong navy and protect the Konkan coastline, and marked the beginning of India's maritime defense strategy. In a similar vein, having demonstrated its military prowess in Operation Sindoor, India should now transform itself into Sindhudurg, an impenetrable fortress safe from multi-domain threats emanating from land, sea, air, or cyberspace. It will also mark the beginning of India's new doctrine against terrorism as outlined by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his address to the nation earlier this month. Namely, terror and trade cannot go together, water and blood cannot flow together. The military strikes on terror infrastructure in Pakistan under Operation Sindoor have only been paused. Pakistan, still smarting from the costs imposed on it, both reputational and on its military, will be thirsting for revenge. The brief skirmish has only served as a distraction for Pakistan from its domestic issues, especially its dire internal economic conditions, and has predictably united the country, even if temporarily, against its traditional foe, India. Buoyed by the grant of the IMF bailout and by promoting Asim Munir to the rank of Field Marshal, Pakistan's politico-military leadership hopes to retain their tenuous hold on power. Since another misadventure cannot be ruled out, we have to guard against even more varied and audacious threats. The first purpose of a fort is to provide for its own security and that of its inhabitants. India has demonstrated quite forcibly its capability to safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Providing for the security of all its citizens, though, is a much more onerous task, given our vast landmass and diversity. History has shown that terror strikes are not confined to border states or purely military targets, further compounding the problem. A possible solution lies in having a robust intelligence network rooted in a loyal local populace, drawing inputs from all branches of the government. A Pahalgam type attack could not have taken place without any red flags raised. That these indicators were not picked up, and if picked up, not reported to the concerned authorities, is a matter of concern. Having eyes and ears on the ground and a feel of the pulse of the local population are the mainstays of any counterinsurgency or counter-terrorism strategy. Gaps in operational capabilities, as identified as a result of Operation Sindoor, need to be plugged. While our indigenous weapon systems have performed admirably, long-pending defense procurement proposals need to be fast-tracked, even if it means going in for limited imports. The next strike is coming. We need to be prepared, and Atmanirbharta should not come at the cost of defense preparedness. The grant of emergency powers to the center to the three defense services is a welcome move. However, this process needs to be formalized and streamlined. Emergency powers have been given on numerous occasions. After the 2017 Doklam standoff, after the Galwan clash, from 2020 to 2024 in different tranches, and now in 2025 post the Pelgam terror attack, making it the new normal. However, it gives rise to a feeling that we are always in a state of unpreparedness and having to resort to emergency procurement under both the capital and revenue heads every time a crisis unfolds. The emergency power provisions need to be made permanent, having proved its worth in fast tracking procurements. It could also perhaps be renamed to avoid giving that sense of crisis every time that they are invoked. The fort, though, is not only for defensive purposes. Historically, they have been used for launching offensives too, and that's exactly how Sindhudurg should operate. It should form the political and military base from which we can plan our responses to all those who are hostile towards us and our interests. By sending out delegations led by senior political figures cutting across party lines to countries around the world, India has showcased that it stands united as one nation. Though a military representative from the operations branch would have lent further heft to these missions. These delegations will not only project our viewpoint but also garner international support for the isolation of Pakistan. That no other country abstained from voting on the $2.3 billion IMF bailout package for Pakistan, or that except for Israel and Taiwan, no other country extended unconditional support to India after the Pahalgam massacre, reveals the long road ahead in winning the perception war. Nevertheless, this interlude gives time and space for the armed forces to strategize and plan their possible responses to future hostile acts in light of the new doctrine. As the new policy makes evidently clear, force will be met by force, irrespective of location and without making any distinction between state and non-state actors. A fortress also provides for the peace and stability essential for a country's growth. Nations respect strength, especially economic strength, which is essential to secure our interests. Only when our economic base is strong will be able to project our military strength. They go hand in hand. Our effort should be to become the third largest economy in the world in the shortest possible time, maybe as early as 2030. A long, drawn out conflict will be a setback to these efforts of becoming a developed nation by 2047. It is only after becoming economically stronger that India will be able to wield the influence that is currently the preserve of the US and China. It is the economic clout that is wielded by these countries that enables them to induce other nations to follow them in taking a soft stance vis-a-vis Pakistan. Power flows from the barrel of the gun, but that gun needs financial backing. Sindhudurg is a symbol of a new emancipated India that has broken free from its colonial shackles and is knocking on the door of becoming a power to be reckoned with in the community of nations. The new India is not a tortoise which retracts defensively into its shell when threatened, but like a swarm of bees which will strike at anyone who comes near and dares threaten the hive. The battle will be taken to the enemy in the political and economic domains, and if necessary, in the military space. This is General Naravane for ThePrint.